Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Good morning, wherever you are, right around the country. Hello to you. Happy Friday, and it is the 8th of August. Trials again this morning at Warwick Farm. We see some of the big names go around there this morning, the likes of Chow Wolf, Converge. We've got Private Eye, I think, electing to trial there this morning. It is out of the Missile Stakes on the weekend. Buckaroo, Gatsby's Headwall, Willie Do It, Alicante, Circle of Fire, Cleveland, you name it. The trials are there this morning. We'll keep an eye on them. And, of course, Sir Delius, which I'm pretty keen to have a look at there this morning. Coming up very shortly, we're going to have a chat to jockey Ben Thompson. Not long after that, Adrian Bott will discuss the horses at the trials, some of their 2-year-olds, last season 2-year-olds gone 3-year-olds, and some of the stable stars where they're heading to for the spring, as well as the runners on the weekend. Dean Watling will jump on. He'll chat about the trials yesterday and maybe some this morning. Of course, I've got Nick Ashman, Heath Pope, and we'll get to Pete Anthonys for the Western Whip Round. We're going to go across there too and have a chat to Sean Casey, the trainer of the Wind and the Line. So looking forward to chatting to Sean. Andrew O'Toole to chat to me. We're going to discuss the Darwin Cup fallout, best bets for Alice tomorrow, of course. Bag of tips. And then towards the end of the show, we've got a special guest. We've got Sergio Bini. Trains 2 or 3 horses based out of Colac. He's got one running on Sunday and he only trains for himself. He's been the property steward at the Swans in the AFL for Victorian games for 37 years. So we're going to have a chat to Sergio. It'd be good to have a chat to him. Many, many years ago was recruited to South Melbourne himself. So it'd be really, really good to have a chat to him. 0499 736 736 to join the conversation. If you've got anything you want to ask a question on, horses on the weekend, you want to comment on what's happening in sport, let me know. 0499 736 736. Don't forget also your $100 staking plans. Now, we had a winner last week. What was his name? Mick from when he passed 10. He turned 100 into 830 last week. So if you want your $100 staking plan, what you would do with it this weekend, get it in 0499 736 736. That's 0499 736 736. And we do it all thanks to Bet365. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. We all good outside? I got thumbs up. All good. Make sure you get those texts in the staking plans. We will run with them. Don't forget, we'll keep an eye on those trials again this morning. Also, Cam, Luke and I did the Future show yesterday. So it aired between 12 and 1. You can catch that up via the podcast. We turned our attention really to the start of the spring where we're looking at the Wink Stakes and the Memsie Stakes. We also had a little look at the NFL, the AFL and the NRL Premiership markets. And I'm sure the AFL Premiership market has changed after last night. I think Collingwood now are out to $10 after they were $3.20 at one stage. So if you want to go catch that show, go and catch it. I also took Cam Luke straight after that show. We went and did Tippers and Clippers, all thanks to the team at Tyre Power. Went down and caught up with Murray. Murray was a bit happier this week that I brought him someone that had a haircut in the last 5 years, being in track, of course, or via Facebook. You know where it is. Go and find it, have a look, and share it around. As mentioned, Ben Thompson not far away. We're going to get him very, very shortly. Also, Adrian Bott to join me as well while they've got some horses trialling, and looking forward to chatting to Nick Ashman and Heath Pope as always. Are we right, or do we need to go to a break here, boys? Nice and early if we're missing. We might clear a break. We'll come back with Ben Thompson on the other side of this. Plenty more to come on Giddy Up for Gareth Hall. Miles Pfitzner sitting in the chair. Big show ahead. Ben Thompson, just can't raise him on the phone, but we'll have him on the other side of this alongside Adrian Bott.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back to you, Miles Pfitzner in the chair. All thanks to Bet365. It's never ordinary when it's brought to you by Bet365. Imagine what you could be buying instead. Visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. A stack of texts we can get through, but we'll get to them after we chat to this man who's been very patient waiting on the line. His name is Ben Thompson, fresh off riding a treble there at Doomben on the weekend. Ben, hello to you, mate.
Good morning, Miles.
Hey, congratulations on Saturday. Must be good to be back on Australian soil and punching him out like that. It was a really good day out.
Yeah, absolutely. It obviously great to be back in the saddle and back at home. So return to the races Saturday, and we've had a really good start to the season. So may it continue.
Ben, tell us about the transition of coming back and kicking back off again here in Australia. I mean, Hong Kong must have been an unbelievable experience.
It sure was. Obviously a privilege to be able to compete in Hong Kong and work under the Hong Kong Jockey Club. It felt the right time to return home and bring the experience back. So all the riding ranks haven't really changed a hell of a lot. Obviously, James Orman's now in Hong Kong, and Michael Carl's since retired, now taking up a role with the Racing Queensland Apprentice program. But away from that, many familiar faces, and it's my wife and I, Stephanie, had made it our home. So it was also always felt quite comfortable, albeit taking nothing for granted, especially in this game you can't, but heading just back away from the track, back to an environment that we're very familiar and fond of. It was nice. And obviously in turn, when things are all good on the outside, it makes work a hell of a lot easier.
Ben, do you go back and start putting the hours in track work? Do you try and align yourself with the right trainers? Like, how does that, for the listeners out there, how does it go when you come back into a jurisdiction you're so familiar with? But how do you go about then getting the right rides?
Sure. I have an agent, Glenn Courtney, who was my agent before heading to Hong Kong. So was thrilled to have his services again upon returning, and then really just tried to pick up a recipe that had worked in the past. I ride track work 3 days a week, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and for Tony Gollan, Matt Hoysted and Rob Heathcote. So those three trainers were the first trainers that I got in touch with, and feedback from them was great, and it was well received that I was returning home, and was fortunately able to pick up duties for those three trainers. I've got a really good team around me, have all the right support I need, and obviously without that, in particular from trainers and owners, you're in awful trouble. So I think, I've got, I feel like everything's ticking over really nice, and now we focus on staying consistent and preparing well.
Yeah, you certainly kicked off with a bang with the three at Doomben on the weekend. Mate, you've got a really good card going to Eagle Farm too. I want to ask you, especially when we get to race 7, because I think there was a horse in there that you're going to be riding against that you rode in work. We'll get to that in a moment, but we'll run through a few if you don't mind. But you got one here for Jack Bruce in the start, race number 2 in the Class 3, Razors.
Yeah, Razors, he trialled really well last week at Doomben, obviously formerly in the care of James Cummings with Godolphin. Really consistent horse, has shown really good ability. Draws barrier 1 tomorrow. Hopefully he can kick off his, let's say his life now with Jack Bruce really well.
And then you've got I'd say consistent but maybe frustrating horse for Robbie Heathcote and Caspanova.
Yeah, on the week back up, hit the line good last week. Hopefully it's not, there's been a few scratchings, but I think if there can be speed on, he's obviously a horse that enjoys to rest in the early part of the races and finish strong, aided by some good speed, and perhaps it's always, as a jockey, really nice, and I'm sure as a punter, for punters as well, to see a horse on a quick backup. It's almost like a gear change. So hopefully that agrees with him.
Hariri, I think that's how you say it, for Chris Waller.
Yeah, obviously always gives you a lot of confidence riding for the Waller stable. Hopefully, I haven't had a good look at this horse as yet, but looks like he's in good form, and hopefully can bring that to Queensland.
You've also got Boomshanker back for Tony in race 6.
Yeah, barrier 5 at this stage. Been racing quite well. It does look quite. There's many chances in this now 3-year-olds, these horses. But barriers are very important over the 1,000 at Eagle Farm. So we have that, and hopefully we can make good use of it.
This is a race I really wanted to talk to you about. I did see a piece of footage of you on a horse called Cronenberg doing some work, and then you line up here on a moor. Now, how did it go about that Pug ends up riding the 3 and you're riding the 6? Would you have had a preference in this race, or you think you're on the right horse?
I'm actually not too sure, to be honest. About bookings, I presume I was already booked on Amur, but Cronenberg, a horse that I had quite a bit to do with before going to Hong Kong, and I trialled him last Tuesday. He trialled well and worked well alongside Antino on Tuesday. So he's a horse that his best form in more recent times has been sort of out past a mile, but he's going well enough, and obviously in the hands of Tony Gollan, he'll be running well over 1,400, I'm sure, but hopefully not as well as my bloke.
And then you've Shot of Whiskey. I think Larrikin Rogue may or may not get a run, but you've got Shot of Whiskey, race 9, number 9 for Matty Hoysted.
Yeah, I've got what's his name? He's in already, Larrikin Rogue. So he's comes in with a lightweight, 53 kilos, a horse that's always possessed a stack of talent. The biggest task is trying to get him away well. Not that he's a horse that's going to be up on speed, but we really don't want to be giving a start to opposition, especially in a competitive no metro wins race. So Larrikin Rogue, he trialled good last Tuesday at Doomben also, I think if the first 100 metres goes right and we find a nice rhythm, look for him to be finishing really strong. And then Shot of Whiskey, trialled good alongside Fleetwood last Tuesday also in Heat 1, and Razors comes out of the same trial. So it'll obviously Matt Hoysted's team's going really well. Finished the season great last week with a treble, and hopefully this horse can kick off his season well. It'll increase confidence levels if Razors can salute early.
Benny, we love following you here at SEN Track. One of our resident form analysts, a 6-time Group 1 winner, David Taggart, has you on top as a number 1 in his jockey seats around the country after last weekend, after the treble you rode at Doomben. So, mate, hopefully we can back a few more winners now that you're back in the country. Looking forward to watching you right throughout the season, mate. Good to have you back. Love to your lovely partner, and thanks for joining us this morning, mate. Best of luck for the season.
Thank you very much, Mile. Thanks for having me.
Ben Thompson there, absolute ripper. As is Steph, like really, really good people. And yeah, he's back flying, put the work in, and I'll be looking out for him this season. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Now, just as we're moving along this morning, we've had just a tiny little bit of trouble this morning tech-wise, but we're not far away from getting Adrian Bott up. If you've got any questions, 0499 736 736, part of the Waterhouse Bott training team. I speak of Adrian Bott, joins me this morning. Adrian, good morning.
Morning, Miles.
Hey, mate, thank you for your time this morning. I'll make it short, sharp and shiny for you. Really looking forward to watching a few of these horses at the trials today. A lot of people are texting in asking about Sir Dilius. How is he?
Yeah, look, we'll see a bit more from him today. He had a nice, quiet trial there a couple of weeks back. So still obviously early days in his preparation, but beginning a nice build-up. Really pleased with where he's at and sort of how he's coming on. And as I said, we'll ask a bit more of an effort from him today. We'll probably see him at the trials once more before he steps out this time in.
Have you got a plan set for him?
Yeah, there's sort of a bit of a loose campaign for him at this stage. Most likely to kick off in the Chelmsford Stakes for us up here in Sydney. Then off the back of that, most likely to head down to Melbourne, do the rest of his campaign. Obviously with the main target and aim being the Melbourne Cup for him.
I'll keep going through them. Alicante?
Yeah, she's probably going to be Sydney-based mainly, head towards a Metropolitan through races sort of like the Wyong Newcastle Cup. She's having a second trial today, and Again, another one hopefully we'll see a bit more from, but she's never a flash one at the trials.
Converge. Be interesting to see this horse back.
Yeah, he's sort of lost a bit of that speed now. He's gotten a little bit older, a little bit difficult to place, but I thought he put in a couple of nice runs there last campaign. So I might sort of look to try and stretch him out in trip once again. I thought now he's that older horse, he's starting to show a few more staying qualities about him.
And I will have to ask you about Vauban. How is it having a horse like that in your stable?
Look, he was excellent. Lovely horse to have around. He seems just in a really good frame of mind at present. I like the way he sort of sprung out and just sort of really put himself in the heat there nicely, travelled well. Obviously, they weren't sort of overly tested there late. He's got some nice improvement to come, but I thought plenty of encouraging signs for the way he's returned.
Have you noticed a bit of a change any change in him physically since being here for a longer period of time?
Yeah, I think he's just had that benefit now to sort of really sort of put on the condition and just sort of, certainly adapt and acclimatise down here now that he's had that extra campaign. And I thought it was a positive campaign last time in. But I do feel we've seen some nice improvement.
I really like the trial of Bella Zane. I really like the trial.
Yeah, she found the line nicely. She was asked to do so. That was her second trial this campaign, and going to see her resume in the 3-year-old fillies races here, ideally through the Princess Series. So Silver Shadow first up for her, but she attacked the line nicely.
Now, forgive me, but I tried to find out North England and Farseted. They on their way back?
North England will have his second trial at Rose Hill on Monday.
Yep.
He's likely to resume in the San Domenico first up. Farsighted still going to be a bit later before we see him return.
And the last one, before I ask you the runners on the weekend, Lady of Camelot.
Yeah, she'll probably step out next week. Just give her a nice steady build-up. Most likely to remain in Sydney for the campaign and just sort of at this stage sort of focused on the sprint races. I thought she ran very well in the Everest last year. It'd be great to see her back in a race like that. If not, we'll head towards a race like the Golden Eagle. I think we saw she stretched out well in trip last campaign as well.
Adrian, a couple of runners at Randwick on Saturday. Obviously, the track's been pretty testing for you up there at the moment. Race 4, number 6, you've got Johnny the Kid.
Yeah, first up, he'll likely to improve off this nicely. Blinkers on, which he didn't have in the trial. That should just sort of help sharpen him up. But he's one that will improve as he gets out over further.
And race 10, you've got number 4, Soldier of Rome.
Excellent return, I thought, first up. He's out to a more suitable distance this time round, second up, and I feel he's pretty versatile in the conditions. So I feel he's ready to run well for us.
Adrian, just before I let you go, did you have one horse that we didn't really get to have a look at much last season that's going to maybe surprise us and pop up sort of this season or this spring? Have you got a horse that just didn't quite get there but maybe will this time in?
I'll be interested to see how feel like Aglewood takes her next step. She'll trials on Monday as well. She's won both times she stepped out, but I think she's a nice progressive horse. So, she's got to take that step from winter form through to the next sort of grade over the carnival for her. But, I feel there's some nice upside there.
Adrian, greatly appreciate your time this morning, mate. Go well at the trials and best of luck for the spring.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Adrian Bott there. Hopefully tried to cover a fair few for a few of you. I like this text that came in from Damo. I can't believe you went to all this effort to put together today's show. Throw it all in the bin and make it all about Autumn Glow. That trial, wowee. It was good. Don't know about making a whole show about it. Bella Zane was pretty good in that trial too, I thought. But yes, very, very good trial. Superb is the best of the Donald's Racing's chances this week. Heads to Sydney, was in the noms for the Group 2. So would love a shout out. Big race for our Silks. Shout out to the Donald's Racing team. Rooster, ask Adrian about Alamazon Agarwood. Yeah, well, hopefully you got that from Agarwood. And we're starting to see the $100 staking plans roll through. So Rob's already sent his in. Fisherman's Beach into Deep Float Diva and LOU. It's a 3-leg winner at $175. Wow. 100 on. 0499 736 736 to join the conversation. I thought, and talking to Dean Watling, actually, I'm going to say that, and I'm going to let Dean Watling talk about it because I don't want to give away what he has in, but there is one trial I think he was very, very, very keen on, and we're going to get him up on the other side of the news. Close enough to 8:30. The newsroom ready, you reckon? Yeah, there's not much traffic going on here in Melbourne. We'll go straight to the newsroom. It's all thanks to Bet365. It's never ordinary when it's brought to you by Bet365. Imagine what you could be buying instead.
Powered by Signet, here's what's making SEN news. The families of Israel hostages in Gaza are urging Israel's PM, Benjamin Netanyahu, to not go ahead with his plan to take full military control of the Strip. They're worried it could put their lives further at risk. A rollout of a nationally recognised licensing scheme for tradies could be on the cards. PM Anthony Albanese pours cold water on proposals to change the GST. And car dealers want the federal government to unify stamp duty rules nationwide, saying the current state-by-state setup causes too much confusion. Up next, SEN Sport. Collingwood had no answer to Hawthorn's dominance in last night's round 22 opener at the MCG. The Hawks belting the Pies by 64 points, with Collingwood now in danger of slipping out of the top four. Geelong, meantime, can leapfrog the Magpies tonight if it beats the Bombers. And Sam Constas and Nathan McSweeney have been named in the Australia A squad to tour India next month.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back. 8:31am right around the country. $100 staking plans. Get them in for the weekend. You get them right, you get on the show for your $100 staking plan. I am joined by the superstar himself, all thanks to Bet365. It's never ordinary when it's brought to you by Bet365. I speak of Dean Watling to discuss some of the trials yesterday and maybe a couple that are coming up today. Dino, hello to you.
Morning, Milo. How are you?
Good. I nearly gave one away before we went to the break, but there was a couple of trials you were pretty impressed with yesterday. I know of one in particular, but it was interesting to hear the thoughts there from Adrian Bott on Bella Zane too. That trial with it and Autumn Glow, that looks superb.
Yeah, it did. It's probably a good guide too. Autumn Glow's not the best trial of mine. I don't know if you remember back to the Autumn. I know we all know she's a terrific filly mare now, but she doesn't trial the best. So that's the best I've seen a trial, and there's two opposite ends of the spectrum in regards to trials. Waller often has them very fresh, so they can look stylish, where Waterhouse and Bott they tend to push them out and build the fitness. So I know she was off the beat a little bit, Bella Zane, but just remember that's typical Waterhouse and Bott.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Ready.
Yeah,
ready for fitness first up. So she was great. That was a hot heat. Jerry Gong's an interesting one in that too. Baywak was in there too. Linebacker looked great. I thought that was one of the more intriguing heats of the morning.
Yeah, it certainly was. What else took your eye at the trials, mate?
I want to ask you this, Milo. Go to the spring. If you had to take one horse home to put it in the garage and aim it up, would you take Treasure the Moment or Aliana?
Treasure the Moment.
Yeah, okay. I'm in the Aliana camp. I thought that trial, heat number 2, was fascinating. Lady Shenandoah was there. Aliana was in behind, and we obviously saw Damien Lane come up to ride her. So maybe that's a forecast. We touched on this on Wednesday to the spring. Is he going to stick with her? But I thought she was outstanding. She looked great in her action. We didn't see a whole lot of her. I think she sort of rose pretty quickly to stardom last preparation. So thought that heat was really good. The other one that caught my eye, and it's probably the best maiden going around in the country, was in Heat 1, Milo. We had Vita Sustina, Warband, Fangirl, more territories and co. But the horse that ran third by the name of Golden Century, he's trained by Tony Pike, now transferred to Chris Waller, has contested, I think, of its 9 starts. I think 8 of those have been in group-listed company. Still a maidener, ran 7th in the ATC Derby, and I see it's nominated for a Hawkesbury maiden on Tuesday. So I'm not sure we'll get a price, but I thought that was a very, very intriguing.
Hey, it certainly was. I like the fact you see Damien Lane on Fangirl. He rode Aliana, Ducasse for Michael Friedman. Then he was on Manal for Michael Friedman. Some good horses here for Damien, as we spoke about last week. Well, just back with, Damo keeps texting in talking about the Autumn Glow trial. What did you actually make of Autumn Glow to the line? I thought it was solid it's not unbelievable from her.
No, I thought it was terrific. Like I mentioned, Damo on the text line, if you go back and reference her previous trials, she's sort of never blown us away or caught the eye at the trials. So I thought that's the best she's ever trialled for me. Maybe that's the wet ground, is it? I'm not sure, but no, that's the best I've seen her come back. And we got to remember, I think that was her that was her second trial. So you're probably expecting that as well.
Yes. Let's go to the trial 5, though. There was one here that also caught your eye, just a fraction.
Birdman, Milo, Birdman. Yes, this galloper. Obviously, I know our good mate Tommy Haylock liked this horse last preparation. They drummed the miles into its legs. So it's its first prep in Australia. So it went 16, 2000, 24, 26, and rounded out the preparation running 9th in the Sydney Cup. So it's had 14 weeks off. That's residual fitness now leading into the spring. That's somewhat of a profile for a horse that's going to build the reds into sort of your cups. Now, they've put the blinkers on in both trials, which shows intent. And I've loved this galloper's work through the line. I think he's come back in phenomenal order. I know the target, speaking to the team, and you spoke to the team yesterday, is the Cups, so the Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup, potentially the Metrop as well, those handicap races where he's going to get him very light at the weights. I think he's a terrific futures play in those. I think he's $51 in both the Melbourne Cup and Caulfield Cup. I think you can do worse things than have a little nibble there. And I was going to leave the Metrop out, but I knew as soon as if I didn't back it, he'd go there and he'd probably win. So I've got all 3 little sneaky futures play, but I think Birdman's come back in outstanding order. That was a nice enough heat.
Just another horse that you've got to. I think people are starting to realise that it's rare to get the one horse that'll pop up first, like sort of essentially first roll at it. Sometimes it takes a year, and it might even take a year and a half just to get it right. Because if you shank the prep the first time, you sort of that year's done. Then you've got to come back and then try it a different way. And we've seen it take time with some of these horses. I mean, Duke de Sessa's the perfect example, isn't it?
Yeah, Duke de Sessa, probably light infantry man as well. I think the other one's Buckaroo. I think we forget that he took 2 years, but I think what they probably go back and change was they left him ungelded leading into that first prep, and then they sort of had another prep, then gelded him, and then we saw him sort of sprout wings this time last year. So Birdman came to Australia, chased it up yesterday. He came to Australia for the autumn already gelded. So he's sort of that preparation somewhat in front of Birdman, and he probably in front of, Buckaroo. So he's that sort of mould 2.0. But you make a good point. I think we had a stayer on Wednesday called Sevens, exact same sort of situation. Didn't show a lot in the first prep, brought back and super impressive there. So yeah, it's a good point to note with these internationals. Yeah,
and sometimes they can, and then they get a rest in Queensland, they get a bit of sun on their back, they put that weight on and essentially fill out. And that's why I sort of made sure I asked Adrian about it. I want to talk to you briefly on the trials today. It looks like we're going to see Private Eye go around in about 25 minutes. So that'll come out of the missile and go around in there with Chow Wolf, Converge, Buckaroos again today. Gatsby's going to be great to see the return of Headwall, which is a horse that I'm just out and out in love with. There's Jettabil, Warney, will he do it in that trial? Alicante, we mentioned with Adrian Bott. We've got Sir Dilius going around in trial number 4. I mean, it's just stacked, these trials at Warwick Farm.
Yeah, it's not getting out of bed for that. God, I'm excited to see. I wish it was on a dry deck. These are probably the most important trials we have leading into the spring, but a couple of big guns. Excited to see what Chow Wolf does. Joe Pride's been very, very soft on his caliper at the trials, so keen to see what he can do. And the other one, I'm not sure if you spoke to Adrian there about Delirious and what sort of his preparation looks like, but all eyes on that galloper. Headwall's back. He's probably looking to get to an Everest, you'd suggest, and a couple of other really nice ones. And we did have heats yesterday too at Gosford, Milo. We saw another wheel, Gringotts go around again. Jamie Mellon, was up there for those heats, and Jimmy Starr stepped out for his first piece of work for the preparation as he leads to an Everest. So
I haven't seen any of those yet.
Yep, so Gringotts was terrific. I thought another wheel was easily the pick. The best thing about Gosford, you got that 400 metre straight past the post. So when you're speaking of horses that aren't 1,000-metre horses, you can sort of get a great guide through and past the line, which is, like I mentioned, it's great for those horses stepping out, say, 1,400 metres. So I thought another wheel was great. Jimmy, that's his first piece of work, where the other two were having their second piece of work. So intriguing to see Jamie Mellon go up there for those rides as well.
Yeah, the two fascinating ones we got out of Adrian Bott were that Sir Dilius will kick off in the Chelmsford before then coming to Melbourne and going through the Melbourne prep that way. And I thought Bellazine, he said, to kick off in the sort of the Fillies, the Princess series, and whether or not that was the Silver Shadow. That's what I was writing down as he went.
You got the Silver, you got the Furious, and then you obviously go the T-Rose, and then we've got the Flight, and then you can round out sort of 2,000-metre race. So, yeah, it's intriguing. We obviously got the Rosebud next week. Yeah, some do miss that. I'm hearing sort of Woden might kick off the week after. I think it's San Domenico we've got. So we sort of start to build that 3-year-old puzzle as well now. So that's where all eyes on the trials. And we do have another set of heats on Monday at Rose Hill.
Oh, that could be wet.
Yeah. So hopefully we get that run and done. But we got horses like North England having another trial there. Within the Law has its second trial. Rapaho, Esplanade, Lindemann, Mimo, Revanillo. So all the sort of 2-year-olds step out. Now 3 for the second trials as a stack of them. Probably another nice one's Hidden Achievement, who we saw go to Queensland and run some nice races. Swift Falcon. And Private Harry has his first trial, Milo. So all eyes will be on the heats on Monday. Hopefully that dries out and we do get them run and done.
Certainly will be. Mate, appreciate your time as always. We'll chat a bit later on.
Thanks for that. Cheers, mate.
Dean Watling there from deanwatling.com. Yeah, a few people saying Private Eye going to PB Lawrence. Oyster Lane win, Glory Days place. Is it me place from Sampa? Someone reckons the Fox today. Don't know about that. Sadati, is it me? Then outlay winnings onto futures. Some of these are really complex. I won't read them all out, but get them in. 0499 736 736. Taking a 2-legger $100 and then rolling the winnings into something else at $19. It's you guys betting more confusing than I do. Back something to win. $100. 0499 736 736. Nick Ashman, other side of this.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Well, welcome back to Getting Up. Miles Pfitzner with you right around the country. All thanks to Bet365. Imagine what you could be buying instead. DJ Frankston South, $100 staking plan. Oak Hill into Barclay Square. Geez, I like Barclay Square. I think it'll run well. Just can't be too far back. Nuts in Mildura. Superb into LOU. Mornington Glory into Esher. That's Justin and Diggers Rest. Get them in and you can jump on the show on the Friday if you get them. I don't know whether I'd kind of want to watch that Esher race. We'll wait and see. But yeah, Mornington Glory I think is a good one. If you didn't catch the Futures show, I've put out a bit of a Futures push for Mornington Glory. So I do think the $11 on offer in the Moya, about it, will not be there after this weekend. So I thought that maybe taking the $11 about Mornington Glory double figures in the Moya after this weekend, that will be closer enough to $4, I would have thought, in the Moya. As I welcome in Paul Sebastiani to join me, we've pushed Nick Ashman just a little bit later. Hello to you, Paulo.
Morning, Miles. Morning, listeners. Nick Watson last night, little 2+ goal, 2 goals.
Well done.
For those who wanted to take that in the same game. It was a little double there, which was nice. The Hawks, impressive.
They certainly were. I had Jamie Elliott and Nick Dacos to kick a goal, but they just didn't have the ball enough in their forward line.
They barely touched it or had any passages of play consistently throughout the night. But the Hawks, can they win it? Can they go all the way, or are they still maybe just an echelon below Brisbane?
Collingwood out to $9 with Bet365.
Incredible.
Hawthorn, $13 still.
You were saying before we went on air, what price was Collingwood about?
They were close enough to 320 or 320 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now back out to $9. They look, I don't know, there'll be a lot of Collingwood supporters listening in, I'd imagine.
What price Geelong?
Still $5.
They just do it every year.
No, and what,
in silence.
They've got Essendon and Richmond out of 2 of their last 3. And so they're going to be able to list manage, rest players.
Yep.
They're going to, but that's how, well, I say I'm a Geelong supporter.
Yes.
Well, that's how we go about it.
Yeah.
We don't we just poke along.
One of the best in the industry, the Cats, at managing players, probably the best. This is why I'm concerned about people taking Cameron to kick the 100 or more.
Why?
They might rest him. Do you reckon
they
they'll
won't
do that?
rest him
You
now.
don't think so?
No.
Right.
No, they would have done that. They want him kicking goals leading in.
Yeah.
So where they do it, which a lot of people, if you go back through the season, have a look. Like the Darwin trip is always a big one. They rest 4 or 5 for that. They just go, nah, you're not going.
Was it last year or this year? They get absolutely flogged by Gold Coast.
They just throw it. They just go, we're happy to lose that.
Uncle Fred. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that one doesn't matter.
One of the best organisations in the league. One of the best.
Crows are going to get, it's looking more and more likely that Crows are going to get these home finals.
Yeah.
So whether or not their lack of finals experience against hardened sides like Brisbane and Geelong, you're backing them to stand up. And what you're backing is the likes of Saligo, these sort of players that are younger that haven't experienced finals pressure.
They're in the 1-1, like we said yesterday. Miles,
but they're in the 1-1 without an out.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, something's whipped up 3 wide around them, and they're waiting. NRL last night, the Storm against the Broncos.
Bryce hasn't rolled up to work.
He's not happy.
He's starting to hit John Donahoe areas on Twitter.
Right.
So John Donahoe with St Kilda, but then Bryce's. I mean. Oh, he's just that negative on Brisbane Broncos and everything's flat and negative. It's unbelievable.
He's got a lift. He's like a pancake. But they were impressive, the Storm, and probably solidified their credentials as the number 1 seed, I'd have thought, Milo.
The Broncos are only just. Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, no, they've got the Darwin Cup replay up on the screens as well.
Yeah, this is great. Look at them back off here. Did you see all the numbers come out for this? So they backed this off. Now, everyone said they didn't run far. This is a Darwin Cup that's on our screen. Everyone said they didn't run far out of last year's time. Well, that's because the track was a mile faster than the year before, was firmer. They backed it off mid-race. Go back to the sectionals. Motor race late.
Have a look at
So
this.
here we
Oh,
are,
no.
2, 4, 6, 7.5 lengths off the leader, right?
And you've made up, what, 6.5?
Yep. And no, 6 3/4.
Quarters, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yep, still 6.5 off them hitting the turn at the 800. And no horses have come from the rear of the field for the day. This is running for 50,000, mind you.
No. Oh, God. Oh,
Yeah.
dearie me. Yeah, second and third
Yep.
have run. Second and third in run have run first and second. And
Yep.
motor race is just... Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he's had to go and pick up. Now he's still 3.5, maybe 4 lengths off the leader. Yeah, I can't even watch it.
all right,
Turn it off. Hey,
Go the Storm.
mate. Now, well, tonight then, let's talk this. Geelong Essendon tonight. We're
right.
on Jeremy Watch.
We are.
How many does he kick tonight?
5.
I'm saying 6 tonight.
Okay, right.
They feed him.
Yeah.
Like he gets
Yeah.
fed. He's like John Daly, playing golf barefoot
At the buffet.
at the buffet.
Yeah, Homer
He's
at
just
the
getting
buffet.
fed.
I think they will as well.
Yeah. If he kicks 10 tonight,
100's on.
like
Yeah,
that,
if he kicks 10 tonight, the
So,
100's on. I don't think he'll get
what
it.
about
but
8?
That's flip of the coin.
That takes him to 83.
When's
He's
the
got
last-
to kick 17.
When's the last time a player's kicked 100 in a season?
Buddy Franklin.
Okay.
When he was in the Favola game. That's
yes,
how long it's
right.
been.
Yes.
Where and
2008.
then they flooded and didn't
Yeah,
let
yeah.
Favola kick his because they were
Mongrels.
both going to kick 100 in the same game.
Bloody mongrels,
Would have
yeah.
been the biggest.
Clarko put 5 players
Oh
on
yeah,
Fev.
crook. Hey, appreciate you as
Thank
always,
you, mate.
We're going to jump to a break. I'll come back and roll you up to the news on the other side of this. Get your $100 staking plans in. Turn this Darwin Cup off. Get rid of it.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back. Miles Pfitzner with you, all thanks to the team at Bet365 and their Top Tote Plus. You get best part across all three national totes. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Jezza will kick 8 to 10 tonight. Kicked 6 against the Bombers 8 weeks ago. Bombers are worse. Cats will be looking for him. Great call. Don't mind it. I'd love to. It's going to make a game really interesting tonight because I get to watch it with the boys and we get to sit there on Jeremy Watch. Stolly Bolly Oyster Lane LOU 123 for 100, said Brendan. Get your $100 staking plans in. Mick from Brisbane's going to join us. This is going to be good. Mick sounds like he's going to be my sort of bloke. Mick, he's going to join us at the end of the show. Nick Ashman, Heath Pope, Pete Anthony, Sean Casey, Andrew O'Toole, bag of tips, Sergio Beanie. Looking forward to chatting to the Serge. And then Mick from Brisbane. Look out.
Powered by Signet. Good morning. I'm Nate Gardner with SEN News. A stabbing attack in Sydney's west has led to a man suffering critical injuries. Officers called to the scene at Annandale overnight found 6 injured men who were allegedly attacked by 4 others. A 15-year-old boy has been arrested. A group of arsonists are on the run after separate fires in Melbourne's north. 2 suspicious fires took hold of a barber shop and a car. The incidents happening in Coburg just before midnight. While just south of Adelaide, a caravan and SUV have gone up in flames at a holiday park. No one was hurt while the cause is being investigated. Staying in SA, there's been a minor early morning earthquake. The magnitude 2.5 tremor struck Laura near Port Pirie. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin could hold a face-to-face meeting to discuss ending the war in Ukraine as soon as next week. It's understood the White House has been pushing for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to be included. And Brisbane is set to celebrate the 149th Royal Queensland Show, or ECA as it's known locally. But a wet weekend is expected with falls of 20 mils tipped for the Queensland capital. The Weather Bureau's Miriam Bradbury says some parts of the state are in for 300 millimetres of rain.
The rain is impacting more of those inland areas today, shifting to the southeast coast tomorrow. But through the later part of Saturday into Sunday, we'll see the weather system driving this wet weather moving offshore.
Coming up next, sen.com.au sport. Hawthorn's Jack Gunston, Marbiol Chol and Ruckman Lloyd Meek booted 10 goals between them in last night's 64-point win over Collingwood. And the AFL will today announce a record 1.32 million people signed up for club membership this year. 8 clubs breaking their own records: the Saints, Hawthorn, Bulldogs and North Melbourne, the 2 Sydney teams, and Brisbane and Gold Coast.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Live right across Australia. Hello to you if you're just joining us for the first time. Good morning, 9:04 a.m. Miles Pfitzner filling in for Gareth Hall into our second week of 3. Louis, the boys, Ethan, Paul, they're doing a magnificent job out the back putting up with me, that's for sure. All thanks to the team at Bet365. Imagine what you could be buying instead. We're about to go here, trial 1 at Warwick Farm, and this is the host of Chow Wolf, Converge, and even Private Eye. But who better to talk through this trial and welcome him in? The man, the myth, the legend, the one and only from thebeatenfavourite.com, Nick Ashman. Hello to you, Nico.
Good morning, Milo. How are you?
Hey, good. Oh, well, you sound like you're in the car, so you won't be watching trial 1 at Warwick Farm then.
I just realised I've got headphones and I had you on loudspeaker. That was pretty dumb. So that's okay. Hey, I'm in the capital of Australia, that being Canberra. So and we're here with a mate to watch the Raiders versus the Seagulls a little later on tonight. So we'll see how things unfold.
How good's that? Now, we've been talking about this NRL, and you know your NRL. Are the Raiders a chance to win it? Are they essentially being underestimated by the bookies? They are a good price.
My Raiders have got no hope. I'm just saying that because he's sitting next to me driving the car. So,
right. We better put him on.
They've got a good. Of course, they've got a good chance of winning the comp. They're leading it at the moment. The big query will be though, just they had that shock loss last week. They were about $1.20 to win. They got rolled. They were always that winning streak was always going to come to a halt. They won 9 on the bounce. They're looking to make it 10 straight last week. They lost. How they come out of that tonight? You would think that they can take care of Manly at home, but Manly did beat them last time. They played each other down here. So, if they lose to Manly tonight, then they'll have their knockers going into the finals. That maybe they're not as good as we thought they were mid-season.
Yeah, well, looking forward to following it through the end. I know that the Storm took care of the Broncos last night, but I even thought I've been trading the Panthers all year on the fair. Because, they went out to $26, so you take a bit, then they sort of win and get a bit closer. So I've just been trading the price on them all year. They've been brilliant.
Well, it's funny you say I do have a drink quite occasionally at the local pub with their CEO, Brian Fletcher, and he even said, many, many rounds ago when they were going terrible, that he said, look, they'll come good towards the back end of the season. That's what Ivan sort of set them to do. It's not about peaking early. We're just trying to keep the team together, get them gelling, and we'll be peaking in the second half of the season. That's exactly how it's panned out. So they have to be the biggest threat to those top 3 on the ladder. I thought Melbourne were great last night, though. Tyron Wishart stepped in at halfback for Jerome Hughes being out. That was a potential problem for the Storm, but they were too good. Can you believe that the Storm and the Broncos have now played 30 times since the Storm entered the competition in the late 90s? It's 27-3 in favour of the Storm. If there's one team they know how to get beaten, it is the Broncos.
Fascinating little trial there. I'm sure that people are going to mention it. Our Gold Hope, I think it was, down the outside for Robert and Luke Price. That is as good a trial as you ever want. That was unbelievable there with Chow Wolf and the like and Private Eye. Nico, on to this weekend. It's been wet as a shag up there in Sydney. You're as good as any at finding some on the wet decks. Have you got anything kicking around up there in Randwick that we can maybe have a nibble at a big price?
Yeah, look, it's double figures into single figures. Race 6, number 14, L. Hudson, just a couple of horses have come out, and I think the map looks a bit better for this guy who was looking that he was going to get buried along the inside. But he went out beyond 2,000 metres for the first time last start, and he was probably just short of peak fitness. He sort of came around the turn and looked like he was going to put him away, but he peaked on his run. He was on the 7-day backup on that occasion. Joe Pride's not overly tough on his horses, so I think when his horses get out to these distances, they quite often need a go at the trip before they improve enough to sort of win. So I think around that sort of $9, $10 mark, he's got to be in the mix. The 3 horses you want to watch at Randwick tomorrow, I've backed them all, but I can see that because they're all first up and given the wet conditions, it could be tough. But race 3, number 8, Karinska. Chris Waller trains his 3-year-old filly, taking on the older horses or the older mares. She's a really interesting runner. It's not often Chris throws a 3-year-old filly at this time of year in against the older horses. He ran her in the the Magic Night and one of the other 2-year-old stakes races before that, off the back of a brilliant trial debut win at Canterbury. Now, she's first up in the second preparation. To me, this looks like an attempt to get a boost to her domestic rating to get into those 3-year-old stakes races in the next few weeks. So I'll be keeping a close eye on her. Race 7, number 12, The Blades, my best for the day. I think he's a stakes class horse. Yes, he's only one trial in what's going to be a bog track. His wet data is pretty good, and I just think he's stakes class. And down on 54 kilos, Zach Lloyd in the saddle, he should just be too good for that field. And then last, but not necessarily least, race 9, number 2, Adelaide River, in the famous Lloyd Williams colours. The Blade's been gelded, and so has Adelaide River since we last. The statistics around horses that resume first up as a gelding, it's about plus 6% profit on turnover for the last 5 years. So if you back them all, you'd be in front. So it's a good stat to follow. And this guy had great numbers over in Europe. Since being in Australia, we haven't seen the best of him. So he's lost his two best friends. J-Mac ducked up to Gosford, a provincial track in Sydney, to ride him in a trial and sticks with him on race day. I think that's a good pointer. I think he'll be winning or going close to it on Saturday. And he might be the kind of horse that could end up in a Metropolitan in a few weeks' time.
Nico, and did you have a quick look at the Valley? It's a one track, mate. If you had to tell me what's the worst metro track that I punt at anywhere in the country, it'd be it. I'm shocking there. I'm terrible there.
Well, to be fair, most of the time we're betting on a Friday night. But I did think in the feature there, I guess you could say, the Travis Harrison Cup, Relentless Voyages of Rule. Julesy and I were talking about this on our Foxcatcher show yesterday. It's D-Day for him, but this is the kind of race where he could win. He's third up. He's having his third start in the straight, and the apprentice jockey on board for his first two runs. Both pretty quiet, out the back, best last 200 metres of the race at each run. I think with a good rolling tempo tomorrow, he can probably settle midfield. We'll find out how good he is. But this could be the kind of horse that Kieran Maher picks off these types of races in, and then he pops up in a major spring feature, and he's actually half a chance. He's the one that he's building good base fitness now with.
Yep. No, I tend to agree. Hey, Nico, you go and enjoy your afternoon up there in Canberra. Hey, the Science Museum's really good. You could go and have
Museum?
Yeah, the Science Museum's great there.
Do they do FMA tests there? Anyway, sorry about that.
Mate, you go and have a good time up there. Enjoy the game tonight, my friend. Go well.
Okay.
See you, buddy.
Milo.
Nick Ashford there from the Beaten Favourite. It's absolute ripper. It's a good science museum up there. You know where you touch the glass ball and the electricity goes to your fingers and your hair stands up? Remember doing that as a kid in Canberra? Let's go to a break. Heath Pope on the other side of this. I've lost it.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back. Miles Pfitzner with you right around the country. Sorry, I was just trying to catch the end of this trial and some of the colours. I think Gatsby's, it was up there sort of second. They're wearing sort of oddly put colours here at the trials, but that was a big stack trial. Buckaroo, Felix Majestic, Gatsby's Headwall, Jetabil, Warney, Willie Dewitt, Zuccarino. I think Willie Dewitt might have been up there in the... no, he wasn't. He was at the back, but he finished well past the post. Warney sort of run third in there off that. I think that'd be Jetabil running fourth, wouldn't it, in the yellow? So I'm doing my best to... should be calling these trials off the screen here on Gareth Show. Get me a book. Right, all thanks to Bet365. Imagine what you can be buying instead. We'll get you some of the results of them, but yeah, definitely a really good trial for Chow Wolf. Our Gold Hope trialled like it could be anything there in the first, but it does have a habit of doing that, so I'm told. Let's get to our resident superstar, the Pontiff himself, Heath Pope. Hello to you, Pope Show.
Good morning, Miles.
Hey, mate, I'm sorry. I'm trying to watch trials here as I'm going, and I've got futures things going everywhere. I'm trying to do everything all at once, and it's one of those days here on a Friday when you've got things going absolutely everywhere. Hey, tell me, what are you making of the racing on the weekend in Melbourne and in Adelaide?
Adelaide, I don't mind this program, Miles. I think there's a bit of value in the early markets. Track a soft 6, good weather. In saying that, I still am working around a soft 6, but definitely won't be worse if the weather forecast is right.
Yeah, well, I don't think it'll be too bad. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start? Or let's have a quick look at the Behemoth Stakes. I know that as soon as they put up around that $3.70 mark with Bet365, they wanted it into about $3.10 favourite.
Yeah, well, I'm opposing it.
Yes,
Sakala, you're talking about.
Yes, Sakala.
Yeah, mate. I'm actually my best bet of the days in this.
Beautiful.
I'm red hot keen on number 2 recommendation.
Yes.
I just this is clearly easier than that Melbourne form. It's still going okay. It hasn't been winning, but it's been going okay. Now the big thing here is not as much tempo in this, Miles.
So do you think he'll be able to take it up and sort of dictate his own terms a bit?
Q-Man will be up there. So whether Q-Man leads or recommendation is on the leader's back, it doesn't really matter in my opinion. But in saying that, I don't see the tempo being strong.
Yep.
It'll be genuine, but I don't think it'll be strong. And if that is the case, I just think some of those that'll be just off the pace are going to struggle to make up the ground. Like, I mean, have a look at his Group 3 record. I mean, he's 4 from 6.
Yeah, very like on a class, he looks very good. So I said cross, but he did draw inside, so I didn't realise that. But
yeah,
you'd have no
Sakala,
option but to muster.
Yeah, Sakala's obviously the horse with a lot of upside, but it's a difficult one. It's coming off a heavy win. To me, it's still the jury's still out for me. I'm going with the proven class runner and recommendation. A lot of respect for Is It Me, but recommendation. And I think it's around $5 now. I think that's insane. If I was to have my $100 on Miles this weekend, recommendation's the horse.
Yeah, so if I give you $100, that's it. Bang. Recommendation, bang.
Absolutely.
$5 with Bet365, bang, away you go.
Yep.
Pope, have you got anything else on the card that you had a bit of a nibble at? You always like something at double figures somewhere or want to try and take a favourite on somewhere?
Yeah, well, I do have a few. First of all, I was going to ask you, race 3's Gin Spirit, is it coming to Adelaide or is it staying in Melbourne?
I asked JD Hayes earlier in the week. I think it was going to Adelaide. I think that's what he said from memory. I'm looking up, but I'm pretty sure he said it was going to Adelaide, Gin Spirit.
Oh,
yeah, it's out at the Valley. Yeah, really correct. It's going to Adelaide. Yep.
Yeah, really. I mean, just forget that first up run. Nothing much went right. It's 2-year-old form. He's a mile ahead of these. I know there's a few first starters and all that, but it's got a listed win. It's got a Group 3 runner-up effort before it was tipped out for a spell. There's the tongue ties coming off here to help it settle better. I've got it conservatively rated $3, but if it was anywhere up to its 2-year-old form, it'd be odds on. So it just must be a play. I've got to forgive that first up run and give it another go. So race 3, number 1, Gin Spirit.
$4 with Bet365. You'd right with those first starters as 3-year-olds here. If they were any good, we would have seen them earlier or sort of towards the end of the other season, rather than waiting for the fresh season here to kick off in races like this. So they're not going to kick off any of the real handy ones, I wouldn't have thought, now.
Yep. Okay, let's get a couple of value chances.
Yep.
Race 2, number 7, Kamachi. Now, this is a black book runner, and I'm not really into black book horses, but and this horse, it ideally needs the tempo to be a bit stronger than what is probably forecast here, but because it will be conceding a start. However, that first up run behind Sir Now wasn't actually that bad. Obviously, totally unsuited by the 1,000 metres. Last start, it was really getting into its stride nicely, and it was checked at the 200 metres. Went to the line untested, still beaten 3.5 lengths. Now its record at the mile. It's had 6 starts, 2 wins, a second, and 3 thirds. Now we're going to be getting in the $20 around over $20 for this. So
Yeah.
it's no good thing, but I think it's a really good each way play, Miles.
$26 and $4 with Bet365. It, of course, Sav on Ice in that race, $1.80 favourite. Todd Pannell takes a ride. Rochelle Milnes off after winning the last 2 on it. Fascinating.
Yeah. Obviously, it'll be in an improved track too. Hence, I'm just a bit wary about taking the shorts there on Sav on Ice.
Yep.
And now there's also another one in race 8, number 12, High on Sugar. Now this is a horse that can find trouble. He's had a lot of excuses of late. However, the icing on the cake here is Jake Toro takes the ride now. Really respecting that. Now the map, it finally looks to get a decent map here. There's actually not a massive amount of tempo on paper. I think it stalks the leaders, and I think is another that can give us a real good side at odds.
Beautiful. I'm just having a look here. We're getting $19.05 the place with Bet365.
Yep. Okay. Moonee Valley.
Yes.
Race 1, I'm going to get the cash here with number 4, Hovland. I think that form's really good for this. Looks very well placed. That'll be my best play. I've got it rated $2.80, Miles. I think, what is it, $3.80 or $4?
Yeah, $3.60, Bet365.
Yeah, righto. That's a good play, Hovland. Now, touching on race 7, Sadati, how do we pronounce that? Sadati. Wasn't even close, was
it? Yeah, that's all right.
Now, I've got it rated on top. However, I just need a bit of a drift in the market to take that price. However, there's a horse in this Adelaide Visitor, number 8, Test the Law. Now, it's also nommed in Adelaide, but if it does come over for this, this is a horse that can either settle back or forward. Now, if it can lead these, I think it can run a real race. Like, I think it's nommed in Adelaide with about 64 kilos. Gets in here with 10 kilos lighter. I would love them to go forward on this, and I think it's a really good each-way play again. At the double figures.
It'll be up there. It's $11. I think it'll be up there, and Sadati's going to try to do it. I actually ended up on Berkeley Square in that race. I thought there might be a little bit of tempo on to set up for it. I like the way you're thinking there. Anything else at the Valley before I let you go, Popey?
Oh, that's about it at the moment, Miles.
The $100 on recommendation.
Yeah. Without doubt, I think that's a great play. Honestly, when the markets went up and was $3.80, I thought it was a good bet.
Oh, beautiful.
So now it's $5.
No, I love it, mate. From you, I might even take the $100 from next week, and we can have the 200 on. Save you next week.
Absolutely,
mate. Appreciate you as always. We'll chat again next week, my friend.
Thanks, mate. You're doing a good job.
Thank you,
Thanks,
mate.
Miles.
Appreciate it. Heath Pope there. What we are going to do, quick, is a break or news? while we've got a hard out. Right. Oh, damn, I wouldn't have pushed him then. Oh, that's okay. Paulo, as we chime in.
Hello, mate.
Hey, I didn't...
You haven't asked me for my selection.
That's my bad. Yeah, what have you got? Sorry, mate. I do apologise. I'm all over the shop here today.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I thought I had Pete Anthony's before I went to the break on news, but I've got 2 minutes here. Sorry to Popey, too. I wouldn't have pushed him then.
We are very good, mate. We are very good. Tomorrow at Moonee Valley, it's the first time, of course, they're there for the season, so just keep an eye out for the track pattern. Rail in the true, up and off, I think, is where you usually want to be, and we know Moonee Valley's a very, very big momentum circuit. And you're not really a fan, are you, Milo?
What's that?
You're not a fan of the Valley,
No.
are you? No.
No. Absolutely not. No, good horses get beaten at the Valley.
They do.
Good horses get beaten there.
There is a good horse from a staying perspective. I say that in inverted commas because I think it's a good bet tomorrow. But race 2, number 13 in the staying race. I messaged Mitchy Lewis yesterday, and he's never really keen in these handicap type of staying races, which is where I think we can find an opportunity. Number 13, Fisherman's Beach. Wasn't given much of a hope by the upcoming apprentice Tommy Preble last start. Went back to last and was effectively detached. But Jamie Mallam is booked. Middle pin, I think, will settle much. Actually, no, I know will settle much closer in the run. $5 the win, $2 the place. You can go 1 by 3, 2 by 6, however you want to stake it. Triple or quadruple your play stake, and I think you'll be collecting there tomorrow. Race 2, number 13, Fisherman's Beach, down on the minimum, up on the speed, rock hard fit, 4th up.
Beautiful.
Away you go.
Lovely.
Everyone's happy.
Fisherman's Beach. On the one that I thought that if Mornington Glory, I've got to back it here, and I've got to take the $11 about it in the Moya.
It's a bit of speed in that race, isn't there?
Yeah, and look, I think hitting Barclay Square are probably the two. I don't have many.
JD gave a good... Was it JD or Will who gave a good push for... It was JD who gave
Stolly
a push
Bolly?
for Oak Hill?
Oak Hill, yeah.
Oak Hill just camps off them and goes whoosh, I reckon.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big class difference. The thing is I really wanted to make Oyster Lane one, but if Escher shows up...
Isn't that a fascinating
You never know, it's
race?
a great race.
That's a fascinating. I'm looking forward to the Valley tomorrow. I'll be out there, mate, close to home.
Oh, beautiful.
I'll be out there, looking forward to it, mate. First time we're back there for the season, mate.
It's close to... Is that where you live out there?
Coburg.
Oh, right.
So
near
10 minutes
near
away.
the Ascot Vale Hotel.
Yes, correct. A lovely place there, the Ascot
Great
Vale
joint, the
Hotel.
Ascot
Do a
Vale.
good beer, good feed as well.
Get your $100 staking plans in, Paulie. Appreciate your time, mate.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Oak Hill Escher. That's from someone off the... Put your names with him. Stolly Bolly and reset the Jazz to place. Didn't mind that. Trial 3 is now on here at Warwick Farm. This is Alicante, Circle of Fire, Cleveland, Flying Argento. On the other side of this, Pete Anthony, Sean Casey, Andrew O'Toole, bag of tips. Plenty more to come.
Powered by Signet, here's what's making SEN news. The families of Israel hostages in Gaza are urging Israel's PM, Benjamin Netanyahu, to not go ahead with his plan to take full military control of the Strip. They're worried it could put their lives further at risk. A rollout of a nationally recognised licensing scheme for tradies could be on the cards. PM Anthony Albanese pours cold water on proposals to change the GST. And car dealers want the federal government to unify stamp duty rules nationwide, saying the current state-by-state setup causes too much confusion. Up next, SEN Sport. Hawthorn's Jack Gunston, Marbiol Chol and Ruckman Lloyd Meek booted 10 goals between them in last night's 64-point win over Collingwood. And the AFL will today announce a record 1.32 million people signed up for club membership this year, 8 clubs breaking their own records: the Saints, Hawthorn, Bulldogs and North Melbourne, the 2 Sydney teams, and Brisbane and Gold Coast.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall. The Western Whip Around. Tune in to Racing WA TV on 7 Plus, your ultimate destination for everything racing in the West.
Time of the Western Whip Around. Tune in to Racing WA TV on 7 Plus, your ultimate destination for everything racing in the West. Miles Pfitzner with you. I'm joined by our resident WA superstar, freshly cut hair, of course. I'll speak of Pete Anthony's. Wow. Nearly made a mistake there. Hello, Pete.
Good morning to you, Fitzy. How are you?
I'm well. How's it all landing? How are your parents once I saw it?
Good, positive. Little bit shocked, but no, you get that for the first time looking like a normal human being again.
Because your mum would nearly tear up, wouldn't she, seeing he's a real boy. It was like Pinocchio.
Exactly. She did say I looked about 6 years younger, so that's always a nice thing as well. So,
love it.
Little bit of advice there, just getting rid of some of the frizz. This card tomorrow, we're waiting just here in Perth and just having a look at the forecast. There's 5 mils of rain.
Oh, no.
Around 2 o'clock. The forecast tomorrow, 30 to 40 mils of rain is potentially on the cards. Now, look, we've got to keep in mind that this time last week, we had already shifted a meeting to Pinjarra with this sort of horrible forecast. So I don't know if that rain hits, if we'll get through the meeting. I think they're still a little bit cautious there on the Belmont track. So we just have to wait and see what happens. But look, fingers crossed the rain misses. The bomb doing their best work sometimes and getting things right and getting things wrong. So, look, we'll just wait and see what happens.
All right. What have you got for me?
Well, look, I'm dodging a lot of the horses in the market because I don't really want to borrow them unless they've proven themselves on wet tracks. And one horse that comes up in race 5, Resuming, I was adamant that she is a better horse, both at Belmont. Last preparation, she got 1 win and 3 placings, but then also seems to go particularly well in the wet, and that horse is deferred.
Yeah.
Quite enough trial. Braden Garth's on board, so I think we're getting a little bit of a price there because last preparation she was being ridden by Chris Parnham and, even Tim Clark there got on in her final race. But look, Garth has been combining pretty well just of late with Simon Miller, and just given that trial, neutral draw in 3, if he can just hold her off the fence early, there looks plenty of speed in this race with horses like Sunlit Fresco, here's Angelic Earth God, Horcrux, Resonator. They're all going to be fighting for the front early, so it looks good speed. I'm adamant she's a really good wet tracker, this horse. So race 5, number 5 deferred. We're going to get close to possibly $10 or so. We're getting $8.50 at the moment. I think that's a good price.
Beautiful. Anything else on the card that tickled your fancy?
Yeah, look, we go to the last race. I think the best wet tracker of the day is in this race. Race 8, number 1, Desert Nymph. She's 4 starts on the heady, 2 wins, 2 thirds. Look, last week, I should say, at that Pinjarra track, you just couldn't win if you were 3 wide and in the wide lanes in the straight, with the exception of Spectacular Parks, which that runner goes around in this race as well. But Desert Nymph has just got a lovely draw, barrier 6. We know she's going to handle the wet if it comes. She hasn't really had the best of things in either of her runs so far this preparation. She's $11. She looks a really appetising price there in the last. If that rain hits, she'll well and truly shorten. Other wet trackers in this race as well. Sentimental Belle, she's going particularly well. I think we can have something on her. So it's a 2-horse play for me there in the last. Number 1, Desert Nymph, and number 5, Sentimental Belle. Hoping you just get a couple at odds there on the day, Milo, and we'll see how we go if we get out there to the races.
Mate, greatly appreciated. Looking forward to hearing how the track plays out there, and I'll chat to you again soon.
Beauty. Sounds good.
Our next guest, one of my favourite stables in WA, and people know because I normally tip horses like the Wind and the Lion, Rock and Rupert, want a winner, is the Sean and Jay Casey stable. Sean Casey joins me this morning. Sean, hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, Miles. How you going?
Yeah, good. Hey, mate, I've really thoroughly enjoyed following your stable the last sort of 12 to 18 months. You've certainly got enough cattle around to win a few races. You guys are going really, really well.
Yeah, we've got a nice, up to 4-year-old team and got some nice babies coming into work as well. So, yeah, we've got a good team going along at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just having a chat to Pete Anthony. The forecast here at Belmont tomorrow looks horrific. Are there any plans if it fully sort of gets wiped out or goes to a heavy whatever that you might be pulling some of these out?
Not right at the moment because with all the circumstances that have gone on, the track should still be pretty good. It hasn't been used.
Yeah.
So, so obviously there's that patch where of concern, and I think that would be the only bearing on the track being shut down. Where they've got that problem at the 200-metre mark, or 100-metre mark. So really the track should be the best track ever, because for our winter, we've only had about 4 meetings on it.
Did you get a look at that patch? How bad was it?
Well, it was just a bit of a problem that was long term needed to be fixing, and the jockeys just decided that it was time that it had to be done.
Yep.
So it was just a change of texture in the track that the horses could notice, and a couple did have a little bit of a stumble on. There's a lot worse tracks around, but you don't need that on your main city track.
Yeah, fully understand. Hey, let's get stuck into your runners. Race 6, number 4, you've got Border Force here. And this is a horse that looks like it can handle the heavy.
Yeah, he wasn't that happy on it at Bunbury the other day, but he again with the track conditions tomorrow, if it's not horrendous, he's just one of those horses that's just going to bob up. And, like if I was having a bet, I would never leave him out of the 4, but he's in great condition and should be ready to run a race.
Let's go to the Belmont Newmarket. Now, you won't like me for this. The Wind in the Line, I reckon I'd been with about its last sort of 4, 5 starts even. Love the horse. Got off last start. Horse won. So I won't be on this week for you so you can get another win. But you draw the inside gate here. What does that mean for you with Pikey aboard here? What are the plans?
No, I'll leave it up to him, but I think he'll just go for textbook and bounce into the box.
Yep.
I make one off, and let him sort it out from there. But he's won from barrier 1 before, I think, and he's in great nick since his last win.
You've also got Rockin' Rupert in the race.
Yeah, well, it's from barrier 6 that he's got. He should enjoy a better run than he did at his last start. So if he can be in the first 4 or 5 and travelling, he's getting pretty hard to pick, because he could bounce and sit on the outside of the leader if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But he's got a bit of a mind of his own. But with the better barrier, I reckon he'll be in the finish.
This horse has been super kind to me and the punters here at SEN Track, mate. Race 8, number 4, Want a Winner. It certainly does know how to win. The only failure out of the last 4, though, was on a heavy deck behind Desert Whisper and Masamune. Is the heavy deck going to be a concern here?
No, like I say, I think with the gate and with the better track, I think he's got a fair bit of style about him, this horse. And, we'll be putting our finger on him again to hopefully take it away.
Sean, if I gave you $100 for the races tomorrow, how would you spend it on your horses?
Probably buy a bag of shafts, mate. I think I'd be having 50 each on Wind of the Line and Want a Winner.
Beautiful. Hey, Sean, you sound busy there this morning, so I greatly appreciate your time, my friend. Go well over the weekend. Love following your stable and best of luck throughout the year.
You're very kind. Thank you.
Sean Casey there, trainer of Wind in the Line and Want a Winner. For those that listen to me on SEN Track, you'll know that tip those horses a lot. What are we doing now, boys? Break? Okay. $100 staking plans. Get him in. Andrew O'Toole to join me on the other side of this. Great. I've got to talk Darwin Cup again, don't I? Love it, though. I love it. We'll be back on the other side.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back. Miles Pfitzner with you right around the country. Don't forget, we've got our top 4 multi up, which is for tomorrow, the Bet Boost for SEN Track for Bet365. Now Coop Race 1 Randwick, Bengal Race 2 Randwick, Sadati Race 7 Moonee Valley, Recommendation Race 7 Morphettville, $13.48. That is on Bet365. And we'll have our Bet Boost horse go up for Geelong today. It is Race 7, number 1, Deep Pleasure. Race 7, number 1, Deep Pleasure. All thanks to NT Thoroughbred Racing, the Red Centre Racing in Alice Springs this Saturday. I'm joined by the best in the business. His name is Andrew O'Toole. Hello to you, Toolie.
Hello, Miles. How was your day on Monday, mate?
Oh, look, I was pretty flat. I was pretty flat in the end of it. We had a crack at the Calcutta, I'm still certain I found the right horse.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it doesn't always go your way.
Yeah, that's right, mate. Look, motor race, obviously, when it was a really big race, I think you had the right horse, but maybe a year too soon. It was a great race if you watched it impartially, and well done to the team with Hadouken. Great to have Mike Shin here and Peter Roble with his second cup, and great to have you and Sammy and Ellie here. It was a tremendous day's racing. It was a safe carnival, and we really enjoyed what we were able to do on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a hell of a race. Hadouken taking out Blake Shin. We had him on yesterday to discuss it. Peter Roble, they were too good. They were very, very confident. They just played the replay up here before, Toolie, and seeing Hadouken and Prince Joffre second and third in run and Motor Race 7 lengths off them. It's made me cry a little bit. Made me cry.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's hard to be critical of Motor Race's rider Todd Powell. He did get into the challenging position at the home term, but he did have to do a little bit of work to get there. I take your point, but I think keep your powder dry for another 12 months, and it'll be very, very hard horse to beat in the Darwin Cup next year, mate.
Certainly will. Overall, the carnival, great success. It looked like the crowds were up on the last 2 years for mine. It looked like the biggest crowd we'd ever seen, Sammy and I, since we were broadcasting there.
Yeah, look, I think overall the carnival was highly successful. Darwin Turf Club did a very good job in putting on the show. 8 to 8,500 on Cup Day. They said it was on a par with last year, Miles, but it's difficult from our vantage point certainly to get a decent handle on it. I'm sure that they're thinking of along the lines of what they can do better and how they can grow the carnival again next year. Personally, I'd like to see a contingent in Centrefield like we got used to many years ago.
Yep.
And as I say, I'm sure that the club will be doing all they can to get 10, 12,000 and planning to get higher numbers as the years go on.
What have we got fast approaching on the calendar up there? Do we go back to Alice? We got more races in Darwin. Do you get a bit of a break? Do you sneak over to Broome? What's going on?
Alice, of course, tomorrow, as you mentioned, and then next week we go down the road to Catherine, which is always a great day.
Oh, yeah.
Catherine's a beauty. So that's on the 16th. Then the following week we've got the Memorial Day for Mel Tyndall, who lost her life here in a race fall about half a dozen years ago. So that's always a poignant day. And then Truckies Day at the end of August in Alice Springs. It's their 20th anniversary down there for the Trucking Hall of Fame. And they'll get 1,500, maybe more on course on that day. So that's always a big day. And of course, then we build into the Spring Carnival racing on most of those big days in either Alice or Darwin. And Melbourne Cup Day's not far away, mate.
Hey, looking forward to the Catherine meeting. That's where all the ringers go in and go absolutely berserk, that meeting there. I love it. Hey, it's good fun.
It's a great day.
It is a great day. Have you got a couple of quick tips? We've got 2.5 minutes here before I've got to jump out. But have you got anything for us for Alice tomorrow?
Thought race 1, Jamaican Gold, number 4, would be hard to beat again. One last time in good style. Took a little while to hit its straps in Alice, but I think it's there now. Can go on with the job for Lisa Whittle and Sonia Logan. Sonia was the leading rider in Alice last season, so congratulations to her. So race 1, number 4, Jamaican Gold. And I thought in the last, this is his race to win, number 2, Better Not Fuss. Jess Booth takes 3 kilos off, so he goes around with 50. What's he go around with 55 and a half?
Yeah.
And I think that's a decent pull on Super Sharp, who's obviously the hardest to beat. I thought Better Not Fuss hard to beat in the last will probably lead throughout. Hopefully he's still in front of the post. Race 5, number 2.
Race 5, number 2. Hey, Tooley, your hospitality to Sammy Holland and I in Alice Springs and in Darwin is second to none. We love coming up there. We have a ball. We've already had people messaging in saying that they want to come up next year. I still think we've got to take a tour for the 3 or 4 days. I think that's be the right way to do it. Leading into the Cup, do the sprint and then the Cup. But, mate, greatly appreciated your hospitality and look forward to seeing you again, mate. We loved it.
Nah, good on you, mate. It's a pleasure. Always great having you guys in the territory, and you do such a fine job for racing in the territory, and always happy to have you here, mate.
Greatly appreciated. See you, Tooley. We'll chat soon, mate.
Take care, mate. Cheers.
Andrew O'Toole there. Should have seen the boys when I bought this horse at the Calcutta. They nearly flipped. I went and told Savvy, he went, you idiot. I said, mate, I think we're on here. So I've got 360. And the horse was 220 at the time. What we're going to do, we'll take a break. I'll come back and give you an idea what's happening in the second half of the show. On the other side of this, don't forget, we have got the Bet Boost horsed up. Geelong Race 7, number 1, and our top 4 multi up. Malcoot, Bengals, Sadati, recommendation, $13.48. It's all up on Bet365. The Bet Boost horse has only got another hour or so to start there. The one at Geelong, get on.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back. Miles Pfitzner with you right around the country. 0499 736 736. We've got our top 4 multi on a bet boost for Bet365. Imagine what you could be buying instead. The Bet Boost horse at Geelong, race 7, number 1, Deep Pleasure, at Geelong today. That'll be up for the entirety of the show. And also need your $100 staking plans. And then you get to come on the show, which we'll have Mick from Brizzy on in about 20 minutes' time. Scotty from Baldwin North, Angel Ladder, America, and to win, and Blade to place. Angel Ladder place, the others, 860 for him. Stolly Bolly and Reset, there's been a couple of those. Get your $100 staking plans in. We'll have you on the show next week. Fast approaching the 10 o'clock news. On the other side of this, a very quick bag of tips. Sergio Beanie, we're going to have a chat to him. He only trains a couple of horses for himself in Colac. He's been the property steward for the Swans in the AFL in Victoria for 37 years. So we'll have a chat to him on the other side of this. And, of course, Mick from Brisbane, our $100 staking plan winner, just around the corner. See you in a minute.
Powered by Signet. Good morning, I'm Nate Gardner with SEN News. There is anger today over a $2 million compensation payout to Kathleen Folbig by the New South Wales government. The 58-year-old spent 20 years behind bars before her convictions for killing her 4 children were quashed. Her lawyer, Rani Rego, on 9, describing the payout as unjust and unfair.
We are outraged. The people surrounding her and who care for her and who know her are deeply outraged at the moral affront that $2 million is all her life is worth.
Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu and his security cabinet are convening to discuss the full military control of Gaza under a phased plan. It's likely to lead to over 1 million Palestinians being displaced. The families of hostages, meantime, are pleading with the PM to reconsider, saying it will put their lives under greater risk. While police in Brisbane are yet to greenlight a pro-Palestinian rally planned for the city's Story Bridge. A violent stabbing in Sydney's West has left 1 man fighting for life. Police were called to Annandale overnight, where they discovered 6 men injured, allegedly attacked by a group of 4 offenders, a 15-year-old boy among those arrested. Fire crews in Melbourne's north have been kept busy overnight responding to suspicious blazes. A barber shop and a car were both set alight in separate incidents in Coburg just before midnight. And it's International Cat Day. Good pussy. It's estimated there are 5.5 million pet cats in Australia. Up next, SEN Sport. Geelong can overtake Collingwood in the top 4 if it beats Essendon tonight at GMHBA Stadium. The Pies are in danger of slipping out of the top half of the 8 after its 4th loss in 5 weeks, going down to the Hawks by 64 points overnight. And in harness racing, the highlight reel returns to Melton tomorrow night, chasing a spot in the world's richest harness race, the Eureka.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy Up with Gareth Hall. The Giddy Up bag of tips for Oz Equipment Rentals. Supplying equipment to the construction, mining and roadworks industries. OzEquipment.com.
It's time for a bag of tips. Thanks to Bet365 Top Tote Plus, you get the best payout across all three national totes. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. And, of course, we do it for the mighty Ultima Hotel in the heart of the Mallee, just down the road from Swan Hill. Swing by for a cold beer. And, of course, Oz Equipment Rentals, supplying equipment to the construction, mining and roadworks industries. Check out ozequipment.com. Just .com, not AU. Mitch Lewis, Geelong, let's go there. Race 7, number 1, Deep Pleasure. That's our Bet Boost horse of the day. 7-1 at Geelong. And Mount Gambier, race 7, number 3, Two-Way Kick, 7-3 at the Mount. Luke Havanassian, we go to Canberra. 5-2 Laurel Hill. 5-2. Wasn't Laurel Hill a rapper? Laurel Hill was. Oh, that was Cypress Hill. Whoops. Or a band. 5-2 Laurel Hill, 7-3 Tokyo Ice, 7-3 Tokyo Ice. Port Macquarie, 6-9 A Notion, 6-9 A Notion, and 8-7 Too Much Information. Race 8, number 7, Too Much Information. Let's get to Darren Carroll's from Mildura. Race 4, number 6, Plain Ice, 4-6. 8-11, My Ultimate Jimmy, 8-11, and 9-9, Stylish Gem, 4-6, 8-11, 9-9 at Mildura, and at Melton tonight, 2-9, Illawong Phoenix. At Melton tonight, 2-9, Illawong Phoenix. For Amanda Rando, Harness Racing New South Wales, the home of the Carnival of Cups, where Australian music royalty meets quality harness racing action. At Wagga, race 6, number 2, Shades of Mickey, 6-2, and race 8, number 9, Diamond Eclipse, 8-9, and at Newcastle, 1-8, Tetchy Creed, 1-8, and then 4-4, Heavenly Holly, race 4, number 4, and that completes our bag of tips, all thanks to Bet365. Imagine what you could be buying instead. Now, don't forget, too, you can grab the Top 4 Multi or the Bet Boost horse available on the SEN app, or on the Bet365 app or the Bet365 website. Right, let's get to our next guest. Been looking forward to this chat. His name is Sergio Bini. He trains a couple of horses in Colac, and he's a life member of the Sydney Swans. Joins me this morning. Sergio, hello, mate.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, very, very well. Sergio, tell us a little bit about your story. Before we get to the horses, though, I want the South Melbourne story. We're all sort of rusted on Sydney Swans fans here, essentially, that they all contribute, well, especially Tommy Papley, but a few of the other boys. They're big SEN Track contributors and listeners. So tell us a bit about your association with South Melbourne and the Sydney Swans.
Well, when I was a junior footballer down in Williamstown, and actually was good enough to get recruited by then South Melbourne and South Melbourne, but never good enough to stay there. So given the short shift pretty quick, but still good enough to be recruited, but not good enough to stay there. And then, I was always with horses, and we just mixed the two, but still went back and played footy for a while, and with Willie at Williamstown, and never got to the seniors or anything, but then really gave it away when I was about 18, 19. And concentrated with the horses, and always had horses even as a kid, and just went on from there, and always had my association with the Swans, and followed them right through, of course, because then there was still people when I was going to the football that had been associated when I was there. So I got involved in the fact that when they went to Sydney and they came back down here to play, I'd go into rooms before the game, and I'd always ask you to help because they had not many helpers down here, and the association started way back then.
So went in the rooms, started to help, and then 37 years later, you were still there?
Still here. And, I've been honoured to have seen some great players and made friends with great players, and players that were great, but they were terrific young men, and seen them grow, and families come from their association with both the footy club and, of course, Tom Papley. His two grandfathers was down there when I was actually down there training, and here's the result. Young Tom is now a superstar with us at the Sydney Swans, and the association goes on.
Serge, do you have a couple of favourites sort of from the past and a couple of favourites currently? But if we go back, who have been a couple of your sort of favourite players in the rooms there over the years?
Well, look, I'd have to say that Giddy was always a little bit special to me, Adam Goods, and not only because he was a good footballer, but he was a terrific fella. He's a terrific bloke and really cares about people. That's the important part. And, Kirky, and they can go on, and Leo Barry and Paul Kelly. Look, I'd hate to miss one of them out. There wasn't anyone there that I could say wasn't one of my favourites. But, of course, blokes like Adam was very special and, got very close to our family and still is. And we've seen the whole Edmund of when he came into the club to right when he left the club, and is still a great friend of our family, and we associate with him and, still involved with him very, very much. And now I love all of them. I wouldn't pick any favourite, but Jake Lloyd's very, very good. Tom's very good. Corey's very good. That's Chad's younger brother. Chad himself, and it goes on. Harry Cunningham. There's not one bad one. Justin McInerney, Tom Papley. Look, I'd never pick one favourite, but they're all terrific.
Sergio, who do you chat ponies with out of the Sydney Swans boys? Because I know Chad Warner and Paps, and McInerney doesn't mind talking them. Neither do the McCartan boys.
Yeah. Tom and Paddy, of course. Paddy's involved in some horses up there. Of course, I talk to all of them about it, but Chad, of course, got horses over in the west, and we talk quite often about it, even just send messages backwards and forwards with Chad and Tom. Tom's a little bit, Tom's got some good links with some good horses, and his horses are racing very well, but he always gives you the time, and Tom's a terrific fella, and he knows the game too, let's be honest. But Jake Lloyd is someone that's very special. We talk quite often, and Jake is he's involved with some horses as well. And I'm not sure about how the involvement with Coxie is, but look, they're all terrific,
Well, Coxie back in the day, Sergio, was a racing WA ambassador. In WA, and I remember years ago I was doing functions down there with the Magic Millions team down at Pinjarra, and he was their ambassador for a few years.
Yeah, well, look, I'm not surprised because he does know about the Cape, and he's a terrific bloke to talk to and get on with, and Leon Cameron and all of them, and Kirky was still there, and I just love the club and the way that their culture is.
Sergio, let's talk about the horses. You're training, one or two? Have you always sort of kept, or two or three? You don't always keep the numbers about that just for yourself?
Yes, absolutely. Just myself and my wife, Gail, and, we've got the family here, our daughter Shannon and Hayden, that give a little bit of a hand when I'm not around, like going to the football or something. They put them away and look after them and that type of thing. But we just love... I was in it for a long time, and then, I sort of drifted out of the game because I was doing other things, and now, in the last few years, I've got back into it, and I love it, and I still, I just buy, horses that have been in stables, and, I bred a couple and went all right and all the rest of it, but I just love the game and being involved. It's not a chore, it's a pleasure. Get up early, do the work on the farm. I'm on a farm here at Colac, and we do the work, but we work the horses early. I'm out of bed pretty early and, before the sun comes up, and we go down to Geelong to do some fast work, but I've got a treadmill here that I work them on, and also lead them off the four-wheeler motorbike around the paddocks, which they love, and keeps them nice and happy. And horses that just need a lot of miles in their legs, we just do that, Miles. So there you go.
So have you had a favourite over the years or a favourite win over the years?
Oh, look, over the years, I mean, look, many, many years ago, I had a horse that was called Smart Dash. He was a terrific little horse. He was a real gem. He would try his guts out. He had problems with his knees, but he'd come back and he'd won 3 in a row, and on he'd go. But then, that was when I was doing it for other people, training horses for other people. But now I just do my own, and Cashel was pretty special this time in for me. I think I won 3 or 4 with him, but he was always there and thereabouts. And now, at the moment I've got Pure Rain and I've got Aaliyah and Leah Asashi, and we just love what we do. So it's not a chore, it's a pleasure to do.
Oh, tell us about Aaliyah. Goes around on Sunday, which is why we've got you on. Broke the maiden a few back at Geelong on a heavy 8 over the 2,400 metres, and you go around here on Sunday. Mate, you must be excited. Or Coleraine, should I say. You go around Coleraine on Sunday.
Yeah, Coleraine on Sunday, and look, it's a mile race or 1,600 metres, and she's been working well. It's a second up after she'd run in the Jericho Consolation and ran a terrific race in that race. If anyone has a look, she was there on the corner, and just I'd raced her on the Wednesday and then fronted her up on the Sunday, so it was pretty short. From the 2,400 metres to the 3,400 metres, but she's going around on Sunday and she'll run a good race. She will run a good race, but she's still looking for about 2,000 plus. So we know that once we get this race into her, that she'll be a little bit more improved on that.
It's a beautiful little track, Coleraine, isn't it? Sort of on the top of the hill there.
Oh, it's wonderful, and it's got a lot of history, of course. If you really look at it, the Grand Annual, the Grand Annual Steeple. Adam Lindsay Gordon rode in that race quite a few times, and they've got a monument up there to Adam Lindsay Gordon, the great poet. So it's got a lot of history, and it's been there. And I haven't raced there a hell of a lot, but I've probably half a dozen times over all the years that I've been racing. But it is a great track and a great venue and great hospitality when you go to those type of clubs.
Sergio, greatly appreciated your time this morning and a pleasure to chat to you. You're the heart and soul of football clubs. It's exactly what it's all about. 37 years there with the Sydney Swans. You're a life member, but more importantly, you love horses. It sounds like you've got a great affiliation with them and racing right across Victoria, mate. Best of luck. And I really mean that to you with Aaliyah Asahi there at Coleraine on the weekend, and hopefully getting a few more wins or two out of your horses there at Coleraine and in Victoria, mate. Thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thanks very much, Miles. Thanks for having me. And, great. And, anyone that follows football and absolutely, no matter what team you follow, it's a great passion. But racing is also something that's very special. And I think I'm lucky to be involved in both. Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir. Sergio Beanie there. He's got a horse running there on Sunday at Coleraine. Aaliyah Asahi, which broke the maiden there at Geelong a little while ago, and then we'll go around in the 0 to 58, 1,600 there. Great little story. Well done, Louis, with that. Spot on. What we're going to do, we're going to jump to a break. Well, look out. Mick from Brizzy, he's going to join me on the other side of this. He took Port Eyre in a place in a Lose Some Win More at $830 collect. We'll get him on the line on the other side of this. Don't forget, Top 4 multi for SEN Track is on the Bet Boost Bet365 app, as well as our Bet Boost horse today, race 7, number 1 at Geelong. We'll be back on the other side of this.
Join the conversation. Text us on 0499 736 736. Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back. The last 5 or 6 minutes of the show, Miles Pfitzner with you, all thanks to the team at Bet365. Our Bet Boost horse is up there, 7-1 at Geelong, go get it. Top 4 multis up there, go get it. Gamble responsibly and get your $100 staking plans in, because last week this man did. Mick from Brizzy poured Aaron to place into lose some, win more to collect $830, so we have him on the show. Mick from Brizzy, hello to you.
Morning, mate. How are you?
Yeah, well, Mick, tell us, well, what do you do for a living, mate? Is a horses just a bit of fun or a hobby? What do you do for a crust, and how often do you get to the track?
Mate, I'll put it this way. I'm a government employee. I've worked in various arms of government for the last 30 years.
Oh, right. So horse racing and punting always been a hobby of yours?
Yeah, it has, mate. My grandfather was a trots trainer back in like the 70s and 80s down in Tassie, so... Right. I think it's been ingrained in me since I was a young fella, and like I've had a couple of small shares in horses over the last few years, so I definitely like to get to the track whenever I can.
Beautiful. What's your favourite track up there in Brisbane? You're an Eagle Farm or a Doomben man?
Oh, I love going to Eagle Farm. I don't like punting on it, but the facilities at Eagle Farm are very good.
Hey, that was pretty... Did you actually place a bet last week, the lose some, win more Port Aaron bet, or did you have a bet last week?
Yeah, I did put that bet on, and I also threw the lines in there, so it was a 3-leg multi, which was good. I didn't have 100 on it. I didn't go that big, but yeah, it was a nice collect.
Beautiful. Have you had a look at the cards this weekend? Was there anywhere in particular that you fancied?
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough weekend, like especially with the rain around. I've got like a 3-leg multi ready to go.
Like it? Well, the listeners are ready to write it down. Let us know.
Yeah, mate, the first one is race 2 at Moonee Valley, Bluestone, just to run the place there.
Yep.
He's obviously pretty consistent stayer, gets back, but will run on hard.
Bluestone a place at Moonee Valley?
Yep, into race 4 at Randwick, Amrakia to win.
Beautiful, into Amrakia.
Yep, and the last leg is up in Townsville, race 8 Speed Legend to run a place. Another get-back run on horse. It'll rattle home.
Speed Legend. I like that you've gone wide here at Townsville to place. What does that give us odds-wise?
So yesterday when I put this on myself, it returns 1,100, but now they're coming in a little bit, so about 850. That should get us back.
Yeah, so $8.50, and it's an $8.50 all up. So we're Bluestone at Moonee Valley, Amrakia to place, Amrakia to win at Randwick, and we go up to Townsville, Speed Legend to place up there for around about $8.50 at the moment. Mate, you've gone far and wide.
Yep, no dramas. Well, fingers crossed we get it.
Hey, Mick, appreciate you jumping on with us, mate. Hopefully you get one, and look forward to chatting to you again if you do.
Too easy. Thanks, Miles. Cheers, mate.
Mick from Brizzy there. We're going up to Townsville. How good's that? How good's that? Get your $100 staking plans in. 0499 736 736. It's 0499 736 736. Now, if you missed any of the chats out of any of today's show and or for the show for the week, you can go and check it out via the podcast section. We had a big edition of Stable Mail. So I suggest if you want to go back and listen to one, the Stable Mail is pretty important. We put our $100 staking plans up that went right around the country. I don't think I'm playing too many myself this weekend. I still think it's back off. I do think Mornington Glory is going to be very hard to beat in race 4 at the Valley. Berkeley Square's an each-way price. Randwick race 6, number 8, Funambulist. I already sort of keen on it, and when Annabelle gave it a push, I probably got a bit more excited. But that was a good each-way price. I thought Cronenberg at Eagle Farm returning was a good each-way price. That's why I wanted to ask Ben Thompson about what he chose to ride. I don't know about Belmont. Fascinating. I don't know whether you can pile into horses like Eccentric Nature that look like they handle the heavy or not. I'm not completely and utterly sold, and I don't think I'll be touching Morfettville with a barge pole. Full transparency, I've got a couple of runners running around today at Mount Gambier, race 2 and race 3. So I'll be watching them at the McKinnon Hotel between 2 and 3 o'clock. If anyone wants to come and say good day. Paul, to the team, everyone for the week. Greatly appreciate it. We're going to do a same-game multi, I think, for the rest of the weekend. It'll go up on my social media. It won't be tonight, and it's definitely not going to be the Richmond St Kilda game, but I've got a funny feeling it might be this. Well, it can't be because I'm calling Brisbane Sydney, so it definitely won't be that game either. I might have to end up Fremantle Port Adelaide maybe on a Saturday night. Yeah, maybe even the Suns Carlton. That might be one. We'll see what happens there. Can I put in Carlton to get done by 90, Paul? Yeah, no, won't happen. Andrew texting, was that Jason Bourne, government operative? He didn't want to let us know about I didn't mind that from Nick. Put it this way, I work for the government. Nick's a spy. Oh, well. Hey, good show. Well done, Louis, Heath, Paul, entire team. Don't forget, tomorrow morning I've got Odds Couple, 8 a.m. to 9 with David Taggart and Josh Jenkins. And then that'll roll into winners from 9 a.m., 9 through till 11. And then I've got race card 11 until 12. And then got to rush and get on a plane, get up to Sydney for Sydney or Brisbane. Where am I flying to? Flying to Brisbane for the Brisbane-Sydney match. Didn't do that too well, did I? All thanks to the team at Bet365. Don't forget our top four multi-horse, horse multi has gone up. You can get that on the website now. And our Bet Boost horses, Geelong Race 7, number 1. Have a great week. Hopefully you've enjoyed the week. Go back and check out some of the trials. And if you missed Cam, Luke and my future show, go and have a listen to that. Try to put a few plans together for some horses. Don't forget the Friday Form panel with Tim O'Connor coming at you next on the other side of this.